it was quite funny. We were recording our Halloween special with Grief Burrito guys last week. I thought, it'd be funny if we've got one of my friends does our music, like our intro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you do us like a spooky version of the intro, which will be coming out on our episode next week. And we're sort of going to him. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sort of start the intro and maybe do a little voice, put on a voice or something. Maybe I'll do like a ghostly voice or maybe do a Dracula. And I realised if I started doing a Dracula impression, I end up turning quite Russian.
Well, we're gonna have to hear this now, Jordy.
Yeah,
Come on.
It goes from like, I want to suck your blood, and then to like, oh, Yuri, no Russian.
Fires the missiles.
Yeah, definitely less spooky, but still just as fun.
Superb.
Exactly, yeah.
We might have to steal that idea of doing a spooky episode. What are you doing in your Halloween special?
We did like
so we can nick it.
Our favourite horror games, basically.
Oh, great!
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Quite a bit of sort of the old classics like Slender Man and Amnesia, all those sort of things.
We had quite a lot of lengthy discussions about the various entries into the Resident Evil saga and how it's returned to form with 7 recently. And did you start playing it, Mark? Because I know you said you were going to.
I started playing it. So you guys might not know, but basically I'm using Joe's like Xbox Live on my PC. So I've connected to his like email on the Xbox app, which means I get access to his Games with Gold. Is it? Joe?
It's like Game Pass Ultimate, and basically you get it on Xbox and on PC. So Mark's just using the PC that I just have, so he just gets all of the free games basically.
But anyway, the Resi 7 thing linked up with your profile, and I started it and was like, "This is cool, great, playing the game. Here we go, baby." And then I got to the first save point, and it was just like overwriting all your save files. I was like, I'll wait just in case you weren't finished. Because I didn't want to like wreck your game or you load up and be like, whoa, why am I back?
Oh, so it's cross save as well.
Yeah. So like, I wanted to like be sure that you are actually done.
Yeah, no, please. I've uninstalled it, so please go ahead and crap yourself as much as you want.
Nice one.
Oh no, wait, I was right at the end. Shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Never know. I'll never know. Well, we've done a decent amount of kind of pre-pod babble, so should we get into it? Hello everybody, welcome to Pushing Buttons. This is episode 16 of the podcast, and it's a pretty special one today, isn't it, Mark? We've managed to break through only ever having one guest on the show, and we've actually doubled it. We've got 2 this time.
There's going to be 4 of us talking. I hope we can handle it. I hope you can handle it back at home. But we're just going to have a chat, have a nice time, talk about games. It's what we all love. It's what brings us together. Who are they, Joe?
So we have got 2 of the fine fellows from the UK gaming podcast, Video Game Chat. Hello, Jordy and Gary. How are we doing?
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Very
not
well.
too bad.
Good stuff. Yeah, not too. Well, I mean, So I gave your recent episode, your most recent episode, a listen today, and you kind of said at the top of the show, there's just not really a lot to report at the moment, is there? There's just not a lot to talk about other than, well, video games. But in terms of what you're doing in your own personal lives, not a whole lot going on. I mean, I might be speaking just for myself here, in that you both might be doing some insane things, like, I don't know, I'm going to say bungee jumping, although I highly doubt that's going on.
But I think one of you is a designer. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I'm the graphic designer.
Oh, nice one. Sick.
Is that ticking over at the moment, or are you part of the furlough train?
No. I was lucky enough to keep enough work going through with my job, and I haven't been put on furlough so far, touch wood, which has been good. It's been very busy though, weirdly very busy. I guess that's
the kind of job where it will just carry on, and people always need stuff designed. As simple as that is.
You can kind of work quite well remotely as well, which is really helpful.
Yeah, and you're not driving yourself too insane with that.
Not any more insane than I usually am.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. How about you, Jordy? What do you fill your time with?
Just whatever I can get at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a hard lockdown. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but we explained it through all of our podcasts. I used to work for like an events company in London, and
oh really?
Sort of where events in London sort of have ceased to exist now.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Just unemployed for 3 months, I think it was, and I've now just got a crappy Amazon stower job where I just basically stand up at an Amazon warehouse for 10 hours and put stuff into bins for people's orders and stuff.
Hey, it's at least something's going on.
It's paying the bills, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both me and Mark sort of work in the events world because I'm in a band, and Mark is the person who does the sound engineering for that said band. So we've spent the last kind of 3 or 4 years touring together, and that has now very much stopped. So we can definitely sympathise with the events industry somewhat taking a nosedive. But hey, at least we got the crazy world of video games to talk about and get us through these dark, sour times. And yeah, definitely from being furloughed and that kind of thing, my gameplay time has skyrocketed, to say the least. I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys during lockdown. If you've been playing a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. During the time 3 months where I was unemployed, it was just literally non-stop playing games. Not a lot else other than applying for jobs. The amount of time you sort of need to fill in those forms for unemployment, but. Yeah, it's been quite nice. It was like being at school again, having your 6 weeks off, but instead of 6 weeks, it was 3 months.
It was 3 months.
It starts off great, and then you're just like, well, actually, quite like to be doing something else.
I've had enough of that now, and it'd be nice to actually commute somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be more productive and actually go outside. And
yeah, that's it. So, when did you guys start VGC? Am I okay to shorten it to VGC? Is that something that you guys do? You haven't. Looks like you haven't taken great offence to that, so that's a good start.
How dare you?
I'm sure I've used an acronym. What made you start it? How do you guys know each other, etc.?
Well, we technically started in November, didn't we, Gary?
Yeah, we kind of chatted quite a lot beforehand, but we started our first episode in November, which we didn't release until February because we were just making sure it was edited and all that sort of stuff.
It must have been a lot of editing. How long was it in the first place? If it took 4 months to edit down?
It was a 4-hour session that we compiled into 2 episodes.
Oh, fair dues then. I stand corrected.
It took a lot of planning, and it was quite a big. What was it? The top 20 games of the decade we did?
Of the decade,
wow.
yeah.
Nice.
So we did the top 20 games of the decade as of the VG 24/7 website review place, whatever it is. And so we reviewed their list as like the first part, and then we did our own, did we do our own top 5 or our own top 10?
I think it was 5. I can't imagine we would have done 10.
We did our own top 5 of the decade sort of thing. It was quite a lot to discuss, and
that's meaty.
We ended up, we spent the whole evening just chatting away, recording, and then sending over the files, and Rob editing it. It was it was just quite good. I always knew that I wanted to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And I've known Brendan for quite a while. We've explained this in one of our earlier episodes, but we sort of come full circle because the way me and Brendan met was online through a Facebook group or the Metal Hammer Gill and Bees podcast. Do you know the Metal Hammer podcast?
I know Metal Hammer, but I didn't realise they had a podcast.
Yeah, the Metal Hammer Bill and Gee's podcast. It was to their radio presenters. And we had a whole community basically, which would sort of talk about music and stuff like that. And we had this whole thing where we would get behind competitions and stuff for people and help out sort of new artists and stuff like that. Yeah, that was something that we did, and I met Brendan through that. And I was like one day sort of going, oh, we should set up a gaming group within this podcast sphere that we've got going on. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we'll see if anyone's like into gaming and what we can do. We started like a Skype call with like 10 of us where we'd all just chat and play games, and we end up running like a Minecraft server.
Oh wow!
And playing that for years and years and years. And yeah, me and Brendan just known each other for that long, and just been playing games as normal. And then I think it was Battlefield. Brendan met Rob.
Yeah, like one of the early Battlefields, I think. Well, not super early, but one of them anyway.
Yeah.
So Brendan met Rob on Battlefield, and then Rob introduced Gary to Brendan, and then Brendan introduced me to Rob and Gary through the Discord that we were all on at the time.
Yeah.
And we've sort of glued together as the four of us. But obviously Gary and Rob have known each other for years and years and years, growing up with each other pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we've been long friends. Probably my longest friend that I still keep in contact with,
great.
Which is really, really good. And me and Rob basically got me back into PC gaming about 3 years ago. I was like, I really want to do, because Rob he has a YouTube channel where he creates let's plays and like funny videos and stuff like that on his channel.
Oh, great! How can you find him on YouTube? What do you need to search for?
Actually, I think he has his own URL. So let me just find that for you.
I thought being his best friend, you'd know off the top of your head that this is a little bit of a letdown in the friendship stakes.
Yeah, well,
I think it's just Rob Coxey.
No, it's the bit that's confusing me is because YouTube has two different URLs if we're going to go into specifics.
Yeah.
It's youtube.com/channel/a string of letters.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's youtube.com/user/your name. So to find Rob on YouTube, it is youtube.com/user/Rob Coxey. That's ROBCOXXY.
Awesome.
And he's got some cool videos on there. So
definitely check it out.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy it. He's been playing a lot of Phasmophobia recently. Which has been really
yeah. It's all the rage at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I've watched quite.
And also, if you look in the recommended channels on Rob's channel, you'll also see that Gary also himself has a YouTube channel. So Gary can
just keep him quiet about it.
Channel as well.
Just keep him very quiet about it. Stop being so coy, Gary.
Oh, you flatter me, boys. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, and Rob kind of encouraged me to start doing YouTube and get back into PC gaming, record some stuff. We've done loads of kind of playthroughs together of our kind of Bro Up series, which is just me and Rob. And then we have like the wider kind of group of friends that we have, like Jordy, Brendan, some of the Swedish guys that we know quite well as well. They're featured in our stuff quite a lot. So when Rob basically introduced me to Jordy and Brendan through, I think it was Apex Legends and Battlefield.
I remember playing
5.
The first game I remember playing with you and Rob properly was Firestorm on Battlefield 1.
That was it. It was Firestorm, yeah. The really successful Battle Royale mode.
Yeah. That one, really good. 10 out of 10 Battle Royale game.
That inventory management was so fun. Really liked it.
I still haven't heard that sweet URL. What's this?
Give us your URL, Gary.
Well, unfortunately, because I'm an absolute scrub and I don't have more than 100 subscribers, my YouTube channel is very long. So if you wish to
just go to Rob's and click on the link to Gary.
You could go on Rob's and click through onto mine, or you can search Endash, which is ENDASH, and I've got
Make sure you click on the one that's the SpongeBob icon.
Not the SpongeBob one. I've got a competitor called Endash. And he's got nearly 100 subs as well.
Well, just giving you another sub, so hopefully that's...
There you go. I'll do it as well.
Okay. You guys will have put me to my 100 subs.
Really?
Right
mate,
here, right
you can get a nice URL now. Is that right?
Oh, I believe so, unless they've changed it, which I wouldn't put it past YouTube.
It's saying 99 right now.
So Gary, make up your YouTube URL right now, and then if it comes to it, we can the magical world of editing, we can just pop it in like it never existed.
This is a world exclusive. The world announcement
it's hit
of
100.
the new URL. Yay!
So I
Thanks,
refreshed
guys.
and literally
Thank you so
boom.
much.
There it is.
Okay, sorted.
Oh my God, I haven't been working so hard to get that at all. No, not been crying myself to sleep.
Thank you so much, those 50 Twitch followers now, don't you?
Yeah, become an affiliate. Just as Jordy mentioned it, he also does Twitch streaming. I apologise if we're carrying on too much.
Fine. We've all started Twitch streaming.
Yeah, I started it as well. I started it as soon as lockdown happened, and I was streaming Animal Crossing for about a month, and I just realised that my island was absolute dog shit compared to everyone else streaming on Twitch. So I just gave up because I could never compete. I had loads of people like turning up onto the stream, just being like, "This island is trash," and I was like, "Well, I haven't got time to make it any better, so I'll probably stop."
You go with it. You market it as the world's trashiest Animal Crossing, and you just get people coming in and raging at you in the comments.
The ugliest island.
It gets popular just from the rage.
Man, why didn't I think of this? I needed you there. I needed you, Jordy, to help me market this shit.
Got to start time skipping as well.
Ooh. Yeah, time skipping
that's true. That's probably how everyone was doing it, and I was just too much of an honest boy to do it. So are you still doing Twitch then? That wasn't a fad, Jordy. You're still going.
I've been on and off with Twitch for quite a bit. I do plan to start doing it. It's just at the moment with new job, or say new job, job that I'm using to get through with life is just being quite difficult and tiresome.
Yeah.
So because I don't want to do this job, basically, I'd rather do something else. My spare time has been job hunting for other places. So fingers crossed I can get something that's a bit more nicer and will allow me to stream in the evenings.
Yeah.
And not just when I get home, sort of completely destroy me and make you want to go to sleep. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
But hopefully weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is what I've decided that I'd like to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll pick up when you get the time to it. What we like to do now is, now that we've introduced you, is just kind of briefly go over what we've been playing recently over the last week or so. We'll go over our one first. Mark, do you want to start off? What have you been up to over the last week? What have you been dipping your fingers and toes and other parts of your body into?
I've been continuing the little trend of like dipping back into trash that I hate. So I went and So I went and played Heroes of the Storm.
Best thing.
Which is Blizzard's sort of what do they call it? MOBA, I guess. Answer to League of Legends and Dota. And it's still bad. It's not League of Legends bad. It's so like mind-numbingly stupid that you can basically play it with your eyes closed and still win. Yeah. So I'm just dipping into that occasionally.
That's why I like Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
It's the only MOBA you don't have to worry about going to a shop.
Yes.
I'm like, why am I playing a game that involves me halfway through the game to just go shopping? I'm not on eBay. I want to play a game.
Yeah.
What about the Sims though? I love the Sims, and that's a lot of shopping.
That's completely different. That's different kettle of fish.
Different kind of shopping. That.
But
I can't say I've got any experience with Hero. I'm not really much of a MOBA guy myself, Mark.
No worries.
So can't really talk about that.
So that and Dota 2 still ongoing. I've gone over the 3,000 hours mark on the Dota 2 now, so yippee, go me. Still bad at it.
3,000 hours.
Still bad at it. Killing Floor 2, downloaded that for October. I hadn't played that in a while, and it had reset all my key bindings, and I'd forgot it would do that. So I went back in and was like, zombies, and just was basically out of control. But that's a sort of horde defense, wave by wave, zombie killer. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of stupid voice lines. It's just a lot of fun, and they really like nailed the aesthetic. And the music's like metal. It's not quite as good as Doom, like musically, but like, you know, you turn it up and it's just in gent and whatever, and it kind of, you know, it fills the time, doesn't it? So that's great.
Do you think it's better than Killing Floor 1 though?
Yes, but I don't think the weapons are as satisfying.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think something Killing Floor 1 did, apart from looking like cataracts, was that the weapons were really like...
I love Killing Floor 1.
You could really like... No, I'm not dissing the game. It's great. I love Killing Floor 1. But they nailed the weapons. Like that. Those magnums and things were just like... You could feel like the weapons going off. It's like, yes, they didn't quite get that same sort of gusto behind it. But I think the game
I like the big ones, don't you?
Loads of money. Anyway,
money.
It's a great game.
It is. Yeah.
As we were saying earlier, I started Resi 7, and then was worried about wiping your save spell on your Xbox thing. So
you can do it, mate. You've got my permission. Don't worry.
So I'll go back to that. And the last thing is on your Xbox thing. Been playing Forza 7 Motorsport. We've discussed racing games before. They're not really our thing. They're definitely not your thing, are they, Bellum?
No, not really, no.
But occasionally I'll just get like a little itch to just like throw a car around a track, and Forza just will do that for me. I'm not like, I'm not into tweaking the cars. I'm not into tuning and all that kind of thing, because I don't know what I'm looking at, to be honest with you. But just like doing the events and stuff and racing, you know, everything up from a Bath 500 to a supercar is like, it scratches an itch. So I'm enjoying that. And it works well.
Is that the one that's like the fully mapped out UK?
That's Horizon 4, and I was just going to ask: is Forza 7? Is that the one after Horizon 4? Is that the most recent Forza game?
I think it is. I'm not really up to date in how their naming conventions. It's all like Forza 4 Horizons. What does the Horizons mean? I don't really know. This one's 7. What happened to 5 and 6? They must exist. I've absolutely no clue. All I can tell you is I prefer the sort of menuing and going into races. I've always preferred that. I always preferred Burnout 1, 2, 3 over Paradise for that reason. I'm not into just
Burnout 3
free driving around a map for no reason. To get to races always winds me up.
So that's all what Horizon is all about, this sort of like festival, and it's kind of open worldy, and it's like you can just drive around and start an event, whereas 7 is much more like your
event, go do the races. Load the track.
It's much more Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
I'm quite the opposite. I quite like an open worldy drive.
Oh, fair play.
Drive wherever you want.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 4 is really good for that. And the fact it's set, it's basically, it's set in the Lake District, and it is absolutely stunning. I
have to say, having just moaned about it, it's one of the better examples of it. So I'll go with that. Also, I was originally playing it with a couple mates, which makes it more interesting as well, I'd say.
It's a better open world driver than the Crew was.
I had the Crew too, and that was. Although one thing that's really pisses me off about these open world games, Crew 2 did it. I don't know about Crew 1, and Forza Horizon 4 also did it. They make these shit ass annoying radio stations. What is that about? And they're constantly talking at you. It's like, hey, racers, let's go. We're going to talk about... And it's like, get out my ears. How do I turn this crap off? Why is that a thing? I don't understand.
They're trying to do what GTA does, but just poorly, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's no satire. It's like, there's no irony. They're doing it as if this is super cool.
Yeah, well, that's...
Get your followers
it's totally
out.
sincere.
It's like, no, I want to drive a McLaren. Go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Bellum, what about you? What have you been playing?
Not much, a huge amount new. I have actually dived back into Apex Legends recently, and I've been enjoying that a lot. I still think it's my favourite battle royale, to be honest.
I agree.
I just think they've absolutely nailed it. So because that's cross-platform now, I've been able to play with a few more pals, which has been good.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is, yeah, and it seems to work really well.
We haven't played
as
it
I can
yet,
tell.
actually.
No, we haven't. You said you were going to install it, and then
it's installed.
That was the last I heard.
And I went into the menus, and they've changed everything. So I did the classic thing of feeling really dizzy looking at all the things that I didn't understand. Went into a game and I was
stressed out so easily.
Yeah, I was just like, Anyway, and then I went in and I was like, whoa, don't remember anything, and then left, and then haven't played with you. But we should.
Well, when you get over that, hit me up because I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Sweet.
Although jumping into ranked is terrifying because it was my first time playing it on ranked, and it is a whole different kettle of fish. Let me tell you that for free. Are you into battle royales much?
Oh yeah,
us two are. Yes.
Yeah.
This half of the podcast loves battle royales.
Yeah.
The other half of the podcast not so much.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What is their reason for? Because I'm kind of got a bit of a love affair with them, and I'm blow hot and cold with them a little bit. And I tend to dip between them all over periods as opposed to committing to one. But Apex, I am finding now that I'm just going to stick with. I find my attention span sort of dips with them a little bit. But what do you rate as the best ones?
I'm massively into. Probably Warzone is probably the biggest one that I play quite regularly, just because Call of Duty and Battle Royale sort of seems to be a key. I'm trying to think of the words. It makes sense. Like the gunplay and the way the maps and stuff like that have all worked out, especially on this Verdansk or whatever it is, map that they have, where it is loads of different areas of Call of Duty throughout the series from Modern Warfare, COD 4, all the way up to the latest Modern Warfare. All different parts of the maps are all within this one area. It makes sense, and it's quite fun. And now obviously Halloween's come about. They're adding the zombies mode and stuff like that into it, and that looks really cool.
Have you tried it yet? Because I'm interested to see how it functions.
Not yet. I'm currently waiting for that download to. I need to move my install off of my SSD because it won't fit on it anymore.
I was going to say make a good 200 gigabytes for that next update.
I found out on Battle.net. I did this recently. You can modify the install, so
you can.
And so I've removed some gameplay mode I've never touched called Special Ops, and this campaign, which I think saved me 70 gig. So, okay. PC players, that's worth doing. I don't know about you console peasants. Sorry, I don't think you can do it.
You're just aiming that entirely at me.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, to be honest,
I don't know why you pluralize peasants, because you did just mean me, didn't you?
No, I really like Warzone. Was it Black Ops 4 that they sort of entered the battle royale arena? I don't think that worked for me. I tried it and was like, this.
Black Ops 4 was Blackout they had for their battle royale.
That was it.
Yeah.
Which was quite good. I wasn't a massive fan of it. I much preferred Apex and PUBG and
You're of course forgetting Fortnite. Yeah.
No, Fortnite.
Yeah, and Fortnite as well. That was another one that was. See, I enjoyed Fortnite in the first
Tetris 99.
I'm gonna out myself. I'm gonna out myself again to be one of those people.
Go on.
I was one of those guys that bought Fortnite pre-purchase for 50 quid.
Wow.
When it was the tower defense.
I've never met one of your kind. I've genuinely never met anyone that did that.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, brilliant. So it's like a 4-player tower defense game where waves of zombies come at you and you have to protect this core. And you use all these traps and stuff like that. And I was like, this looks like a really fucking good game. So I was like, fuck it. It's coming out in a couple of months. I'll pop the 50 quid on it for the pre-order, get all the pre-order bonuses and stuff for it. And then it comes out and it's popular for a month. Couple of big Twitch streamers are playing it on Twitch, and then they go, you know what, we're gonna release this free to play version of the game where it's like a battle royale, like similar to the
and you were thinking, oh, that'll never take off.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I thought, it's just going to be like the same gunplay, but it's going to be just like a kid's version of PUBG.
Yeah.
And I thought I wasn't going to go anywhere, and obviously because it's free to play, everyone got it, and then it became the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah,
I tried it, playing, but can't do that building, man.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got a younger brother who was bang on Fortnite when it came out, and the whole building towers within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
and stuff like that is just insane. But it is sort of like especially on console, it's muscle memory more than anything, where you have to, you basically hold your analog stick right so you constantly spin whilst pressing these buttons to build a tower as it goes up and up and up. And it's just
it's genuinely similar to people who like speed solve Rubik's Cubes. That's like a similar like plane of kind of finger dexterity that I can just never exist
speed
on.
Stacks. That was my
that's it.
When I was younger, it was stacking cups in a certain order.
And
now it's building stuff on Fortnite.
While we're on the subject of like using a controller or just a keyboard quickly, because I find this really difficult. Do any of you guys find like is it action time sequences where you have to repeatedly press a button for it to?
Do you mean like QTEs?
Where you have to fill up that meter before it completes the... I can't do it.
You can't do it?
I can't do it, no.
What?
I struggle so hard.
Talk me through why you struggle, Gary, because it seems like a fairly simple concept.
Well, on a controller, I guess my thumb gets tired.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I just don't have good like finger dexterity.
Try rock climbing.
Yeah, rock climbing would be good.
That's totally bizarre, man. I've never heard anyone with a similar problem before, I've got to be honest. Who maybe one day you'll gain some better dexterity and you'll be able to do those bash A and to complete it. Anyway, what else have I been? I was getting lost in a hole there. I've also been playing a little bit of a game called Spiritfarer, which is a very cute sort of nice game. It's the kind of game where I'll play it when my girlfriend sat there in the room because she'll actually like me playing it, as opposed to when I'm playing Doom Eternal and she'll just instantly... It's a pretty game. It's nice. It's a bit emotional. It's basically like... It's sort of like Animal Crossing. It's a bit like... what was the other game that I was obsessed with? It's a lot like Animal Crossing.
I know, Stardew Valley?
I was playing it on the Switch. Yeah. Stardew Valley, yeah. It's got that sort of like, you build up relationships with people and that kind of stuff, and you're building houses. Yeah, it's really, really nice. I've been playing that on Switch, been enjoying that. And like I said, still plowing on with Doom Eternal, which is an absolute thrill ride of a game, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And we'll get onto it into the news, but they've just released some new DLC for it, which I think literally just came out today. So I'm definitely going to dive into that. But yeah, Doom Eternal's great. It's just arcadey, fun, mindless shooting with great sort of platforming elements. And like you said before, the music is absolutely stellar. And just doesn't... I like games that don't take themselves too seriously, and this is definitely one of them. You played Doom 2016? We've talked about this before, Mark, haven't we?
Yeah.
You played Doom 2016, but you haven't started.
No,
this.
I haven't started that yet.
What are you guys' opinion?
I haven't played Doom.
You haven't played Doom?
No.
2016 is incredible. Yeah. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even get that far, but the small amount that I played, I was just like, okay, this is everything that I can imagine. How it like as a predecessor to the original Dooms, this is how they have envisaged it to begin with. It really feels so good, and the punching to regain health.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It never stops being satisfying, which is mad because you do it so frequently. But yeah, basically, Jordy, like you'll get an enemy's health down to like its lowest amount, and then it'll start flashing orange, and you just hammer the right stick, and you perform this glory kill on them, and it's basically...
Sorry, just to clarify, by
like
right stick, he means a mouse key or a keyboard key.
Sorry, yeah, okay, all right.
I speak console, it's fine.
No,
you speak console?
I'm just trying to wind Joe up. Ignore me.
Yeah. Well, you succeeded, Marcus. Thank you.
Which console do you play on?
It just...
Here we go.
I'm on the...
Sorry, no,
okay, well, I'm on the losing side of this generation in that I've got an Xbox One.
Better
and
controller,
I'm very much aware. Yeah, oh, well, that's part of the reason why I stuck with them, because, I absolutely love the Xbox controller, but just haven't really had any games to play this generation, which has been a massive sticking point, as you can imagine.
But it's looking up, so.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it a little bit in a bit, but it's a very interesting sort of next generation. It's shaping up to be anyway. And also Hades. I've been playing a lot of Hades because that game is flipping excellent and probably my game of the year so far.
Oh,
so that's where I'm at.
I've been seeing some good things about it. It's a bold claim.
Yeah, I know, right? Just some good stuff. It is excellent. I don't know if it is on PC. It was in early access for ages, but it's out now. So you guys should definitely check it out because I flipping love it.
Is it on the Game Pass?
No, it isn't. It's not good. So it's not on PS4 or Xbox yet. It's only on Switch and PC. I'm fairly sure. So I mean, it's like the perfect Switch game in terms of just being able to dip into it whenever you're out and about because it is a roguelike and you do get a really good sense of progression with it. It's just really good fun to just pick up and play for 25 minutes, half an hour. It's excellent game. What have you two been playing?
Go on, Gary. Let you go first.
No, you can go first, Jordy. You go first. I'll follow.
Go for it. Well, we tend to stick to quite a few sort of steady games that we play quite a bit of. We've been playing quite a bit of Rocket League. We're quite amped into our Rocket League.
Great.
Sort of trying to climb ranks on that and just getting better. Just a fun game you can sort of pick up in the evening, play a couple of games, and
it's so good.
We really like it.
And we
get
also
really angry and then not be able to sleep.
Yeah, get really angry. Start getting like annoyed at each other. And then when or flip side, when we're playing really well, Gary starts making sex noises and like calling me a dirty little beep. And
is that on your YouTube channel, Gary? I might want to check that out.
Unfortunately, not.
Rob's got a couple of videos, I think.
Yeah, Rob's got some. I have streamed some Rocket League before, but the problem is the wins are so few and far between that to record everything would take me hours to go through it for a small satisfaction. So
we were playing earlier this week, and we sort of realised we were like we lost a few games, we won a few games, and by the end of the night, we realised that we'd basically finished at the rank that we started at in the beginning of the day. And you go, well, that was like sort of 3 hours where we didn't really do anything.
It's the futility of life. Yeah, exactly.
We know our place. We know we're never gonna get better at the game, but we try.
But no, yeah, we've playing Rocket League, bit of Among Us with our Swedish pals, and Gary's been churning those out into some YouTube videos, which are great fun.
Oh, brill!
Always good laugh.
Is that on? Have you got a VGC YouTube channel?
We do, yes, we do have the VGC YouTube channel.
Oh, great!
Yeah, so the YouTube channel. We also have our own community Discord as well, and all our videos from any videos or any Twitch streams that come on between the three or four of us. Whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video or tweet out something, it all comes through to the Discord as well. So for getting information from like us and sort of other people sort of within our community, our Discord is probably the best place for people to go to because it's all there in one big thing. But yeah, we have YouTube. We have all our respective YouTube accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've not got that far, as you can see by this one room.
Yeah, it's early days. It's early days for us, Mark.
Yeah,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Doubled in size.
This is true.
Very true. So right.
What else have you been playing? Anything else?
We've been playing some Raft as well, Gary, haven't we?
Oh yeah, we have.
I got a couple of mates playing that. Yeah.
Ooh, what's that? I don't know that.
Basically, you start off on like a 2x4 of wood out in the middle of the sea, and all you're armed with is like this little fishing hook, and you have to basically throw your hook out and grab like bits of wood and like debris from the ocean, and then you use it to expand on your raft, make it bigger, and then eventually you can like build paddles and paddle to certain areas. If not, you're just letting the tide sort of drift you in a random direction. And all this time while you're going around, there's a shark underneath you, and he'll come around every so often and try and bite off a bit of your raft and basically generally cause havoc. But the idea is you basically,
as sharks do.
Yeah, you expand on the raft and you go and find little islands. You make a makeshift anchor out of like a bucket and some stones, stuff like that. Throw it off the end. Go and pillage these little islands for like some wood and some extra materials and some food. And you can start like barbecuing your potatoes that you make on these little farm plots. But yeah, it's a good little survival game. Quite chill. Like
survival.
It's a nice little thing just to play in the evenings, just to wind down, basically. It's
not too, that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's not too tasking. It's not going to wind you up. It's just basically, it's chill, little sort of, it's like Minecraft, but you're on a boat that's constantly moving.
Yeah.
Minecraft.
So after you've mine raft, very good. I just needed to appreciate that. So after you've rage quit from Rocket League, you can jump onto your raft.
Exactly what we did, wasn't it, Gary?
It is exactly what we did the other night. Yeah. No word of a lie. But there was a little bit more salt in there than just rage, but
myself as well. I've been playing a little bit of Squadrons every now and then.
Excellent.
We've all been playing it sort of we've got like the four of us, and we've got a couple of other friends who have it as well, who jump in and play with us. But we've been playing it in VR, and sort of we don't like to. I don't like to call it because I feel like I'm sort of a person who plays in VR and on the screen, but the boys like to say, "Oh, you're playing it either in VR or in flat."
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I heard that. I heard that on the episode, and I got a bit confused at first by the term "flat" being thrown around, but then I clocked onto what you're on about.
So
it's like the VR version of Peasant for consoles, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it's a lot easier to just whack Squadrons on and play it on the screen rather than having to get your headset out and play that. But obviously he's doing, I want to go through all the story and stuff and play that in VR and think that'll be awesome. But yeah, Squadrons, and it's just turned, obviously just because it's October, Halloween's popping up everywhere, and I jumped onto Overwatch to try and get a few of the new Overwatch skins for the Halloween events, and did that on my own.
Spooky skins going on.
Yeah, just trying to play Overwatch on your own ranked is just awful because it doesn't work. You need a team of people to be able to play that and actually do well.
Yeah.
But that was a half an hour or an hour of me just playing a game just to try and get some crates and end up getting nothing.
Yeah, I did the same. I jumped in with a few mates because they were like, "Oh, the Halloween thing's here," and I was like, Yeah, go on then. Got nothing. Uninstalled.
Yeah. The funny thing is that the mates that I do play, the mates I normally play Overwatch with, have all stopped playing because they're all playing WoW now because the new WoW expansion's coming out.
I have 2 bloody Discords full of friends that are playing flipping WoW, and I refuse.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've done that. Nah. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, I never got into WoW when I was younger, and I was just like, I couldn't grab the concept when I was younger of paying for a game monthly.
I'm gonna sound very ignorant now. I'm guessing WoW is no longer subscription based.
No, it is.
No, it still is.
It still is.
You can play for free up to level 25. I don't know how many characters you can make, but
how is that viable for them?
You can pay monthly with in-game currency as well. So basically, if you do well enough every month, you can pay in-game gold to continue your subscription. Like I used to have a friend, or say I used to have a colleague when I used to work at the Apple store, who used to take his MacBook into work with him, set it up in the staff room, and like every half an hour he would go upstairs, quickly tap his laptop to check on his WoW account, and then come back down to the shop floor. I'm going, amazing. What are you doing on your World of Warcraft account up in the staff room? And he goes, "Oh, I'm just like checking up on my what is it? What do they call it?
Auction house?
Yeah, auction house.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Grand Exchange, RuneScape.
All right. Yeah.
But
That's
so
amazing.
he's gone to his auction house, and I was like, so what are you doing exactly? He's like, he's got multiple different instances of WoW on different accounts all loaded up on his account.
Oh, right.
He's just basically he's farming gold basically for his accounts by using loads of like free accounts.
Did he set up a macro so his character jumps every like 30 seconds? Yeah. Because otherwise you get an AFK and it'll log you out. That's madness.
Yeah.
That's not fun. How is that fun? Where is the joy in that? Play Doom.
I was like, and this is enjoyable for you. He's like, yeah, because I sell this in-game money for real money. And I was like, what?
No.
He's like, yeah. So someone will pay me the amount it is for a monthly. So how much is it? $5.99 still a month or something?
Right.
Wow. Something like that.
So he gets paid $5.99 a month to pay $5.99 a month to get paid $5.99 a month, and the cycle continues.
he makes enough money for like 10 or 12 other people to be able to get their monthly subscriptions.
Right.
So he charges them £4 quid. So they save £2 on their monthly subscription, and he charges them £4 each for the amount of gold that it is. So he makes sure that he has to make enough money to pay. Oh, it's just so confusing, and I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this? Like,
that's amazing.
He goes, it means that I can get my the money I make from it. I get my WoW subscription for free, and I was like, but you have to leave this on at work all the time to be able to do it. And he was like, yeah, but I'm only at work. What else am I going to do? And I was like,
work?
Fair enough.
Do some work,
to be honest.
And now he's a multimillionaire. So he's laughing now.
I think he's working in
the original cryptocurrency.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly. What about you then, Gary?
So I've been playing some Rocket League and some Raft with Jordy, which we've already discussed. Some Among Us as well. Mm-hmm. We've also been playing some Valorant. I don't know if you guys have played that.
Yes.
I installed it.
I haven't.
did the tutorial, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. So I'll get back to next episode on that one.
Give us the elevator pitch for Valorant,
please.
Jordy hates when I say it, but it's basically Counter-Strike with Overwatch.
That's what it looks like.
That's how I define
sounds
it.
like a match made in heaven.
Jordy says it's not like Overwatch at all, but having not really played Overwatch too much, it kind of looks like it.
I can see where people go, oh yeah, it's Overwatch, because the characters have abilities. But as we proved the other night...
So it's a hero shooter.
Yeah, hero shooter. But as we proved the other night, Gary, we had one of my friends who's like ex-CSGO pro, or no, ex-CS 1.6 pro, sorry, who plays CSGO quite a lot, installed it for the first time and played it, and then top fragged his first game. Just didn't use any of his abilities in the game, just used the basic controls of point and click shooting, like CSGO, just random normal shooting. And he top fragged out of all of us when we were using our powers and stuff like that to try and get bits and pieces and trying to get kills that way.
Top fragged is putting it lightly. He got like 30 or 40 kills in the overall match. It's like Jesus Christ. And then there's me just like, oh, I died again. Oh, no worries, it's fine. Oh, I flashed myself. Oh, fuck.
From what I've seen and the little tutorial I played, it definitely seems to be in the Counter-Strike vein with the addition of like hero shooter rather than being like Overwatch. Because in Overwatch, like a lot of the abilities, are like the hitbox is like 40 miles wide and stuff like that. It's quite like jump in and play, and the people that can really aim will get you. But CSGO is one of those games where if you're against someone that knows where your head's going to be, that's the end, and it's rage inducing.
I can understand Gary thinking it's like Overwatch because there's abilities.
Yeah.
But then all the characters that are in that hero shooter all use the same guns.
Yes.
It's like saying if every Overwatch character had Soldier 76 gun.
Yeah. Sure.
And then also had their powers, then that would be what Valorant would be like.
So it's almost like 25% Overwatch, if maybe even 20% Overwatch, like 80% CS.
Yeah.
And the fact that Overwatch as well, like you got multiple different classes, and like some characters are like literal gorillas, and others are like small 17-year-old Korean girls that just run around and shoot little pistols.
It's true.
Well, I mean, it's still early days for Valorant. I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3 as well, which is incredible. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of streams of that. It looks great.
It's early access, and yet it feels like a fully fledged AAA title on early access, which is incredible. Like I've both me and Rob have been like saying like Larian are such a great developer and publisher, and I think I knew that there was going to be bugs because it is early access, but the bugs that we've come across, there was only one game-breaking one which was patched pretty much immediately. But otherwise, like it exceeded my expectations, and I had high expectations, very high, and they exceeded it. So it's really fun if you're into like really, really story-driven decision-making RPGs. Then I highly recommend it.
If you're in the market for sexy male vampires, it's the game for you, because the clips that I've seen of it, he is an attractive male vampire, the guy that's in that.
He's got a very sensual voice as well. Yeah, Asterion, the sexy,
that's it.
sexy vampire. Yeah, he sucked all my blood, which is great. non-consensually.
Oh, great.
As well, which was
right.
spoilers.
It was still great.
Well, I woke up a bit faint in the morning, but it was great. And then I guess to top it off, I've been playing some Phasmophobia, which in VR, which is terrifying.
Oh
as
my
hell.
God, I can't imagine anything worse than playing that game in VR.
Yeah, like the first time, because I'm not very good with spooky games anyway, just generally.
Yeah.
Even though I play some, I like kind of ghost related stuff or like paranormal stuff. I love it. Like I'm really interested in it, but it kind of freaks me the fuck out. So Rob and the Swedish guys who we were playing with, they were like, right, you got to play this game. It's going to be incredible. I was like, okay, we'll play it. And then I started feeling like really like kind of apprehensive, and I was sort of like, okay, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then like, I think I built up so much like anxiety. So for the first game, I didn't want to do anything alone. And
you sit in the van?
Yeah. I went in, but I was sort of like sweating, and it wasn't great. I was sort of like, I don't want to go. It was very funny.
Thanks.
Just for the listeners, do you want to give a little overview of what it actually is? Because it's sort of Ghost Hunter party situation, but it's got, am I right in thinking it's got voice recognition in it?
Oh God, yes. Yeah. So you basically hit the nail on the head. It's kind of like a non-campy, well, maybe that's not quite right. I was going to say like Ghostbusters, but it's not quite. It's what Ghostbusters would be in the real life.
Yeah. If you were actually fighting paranormal rather than green blobs and stuff.
What was that show? What was that old show that was
paranormal
in the noughties?
Investigation or something like that?
Yeah, but it had that it had that Scouse bloke who would like
Craig Charles.
He was like he was like a medium. He was called Derek Acora, and what was that show called?
Most Haunted.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Most Haunted.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
So it's basically Most Haunted, but not rigged.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
And you can play it without voice, but you're not going to get very far. You kind of have to use your voice, because the whole point of it is you go into a house, or well, actually, there's multiple different houses. There's an abandoned high school, which is scary. An asylum, which is horrible. Yeah, there's just too much. It's just too much. Oh, and a farmhouse as well, which is the traditional setting. But you have to go into any of these settings, and basically at the start, when you're in your van preparing, you have a name of the ghost, and it tells you whether or not it reacts well to being one-on-one with you, or anyone can interact. So you can go in all as a squad, or you can go in only alone, and you'll get the best results. Obviously, the alone ones are terrifying, especially in Asylum or the high school. Yeah. So it's not ideal. We still haven't quite done the alone thing too well on those ones, because we just sort of shit ourselves. Yeah. So you kind of, because we're all playing it in VR as well, like just to make it that little bit better. And the controls of it in VR they're a bit janky, but they do the job. You know, they kind of suit what you need to do. So you need to go into the location and say, I don't know, just for example, Jordy's the ghost. You have to say, Jordy, show yourself. Jordy, where are you? Jordy, turn the tap on and stuff like that. Open the door, close the door, and it like they shut. And does
it have like a list of phrases that the game kind of registers, or does it pretty much register everything that you say?
I assume so. I haven't looked into it, but the ghost doesn't always react to what you say, so I would assume that maybe that's the case.
They must have some sort of trigger word system, mustn't they?
Yeah, keywords or something, I guess.
Exactly.
Open,
I think
the name, etc.
Open,
whatever.
Yeah, like mug, piano, that sort of stuff. And I think maybe it can tell how you're saying the word, potentially, because if you say it scared, I think it can do more things to scare you. I might be making this up, but that's what it seems like. Yeah. Maybe when I'm like,
it's just because you're permanently scared.
Yeah, just permanently turtle heading, and I'm just like, okay, how do I suck this bad boy back up?
I'd love to see. Yeah. I'd love to see like Limmy or someone play that game.
Oh,
because I want to see if it reacts well to like Scottish or like heavy Irish accents. Because that's the meme, isn't it? With like Alexa, Scottish people just getting super angry at Alexa because it just doesn't understand them. But that'd be interesting.
I'd laugh.
I'm sure he'll play it.
I wonder if he has.
Only for like Scottish people, it'd be great if they added in like a cameo to be like, "Fuck off."
That
was a terrible accent and terrible impression. But
anyway, that's Phasmophobia. Is that how you say it? Is that right?
Yeah, Phasmophobia.
That's great. I do want to play that, but I tried to convince some mates to get it, and they're like, "No." So I was like, "Cheers, boys, brilliant."
Yeah, maybe on Halloween we should give it a go. Yeah. Right, so that's what we've been up to. Yeah, there isn't a whole load of sort of big stonking news this week. It's all gone a little bit quiet on the whole console war front, but there's a few little morsels. The first of which, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the new NBA 2K21 game has been in the news because they had some unskippable ads for the Oculus Quest 2 that were playing.
Really?
As the games were loading up, they just had some ads for the Facebook Oculus Quest. And they obviously people hated it because it's absolutely grim. And they've come out, they apologise saying that the ads are not meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction. So just basically saying there were meant to be ads, but they weren't meant to be there. So there were meant to be ads. It's just like, it's just disgusting. I mean, the NBA games have like come under a lot of flack. Like the 2K ones anyway, for just having disgusting microtransactions. But yeah, that's not really where you want to see games going, is it?
Superb.
No. Plus, they basically just remake. Well, not even remake. They just upgrade the previous game. Very, very small changes. Like, oh, this guy's moved to this team. There you go, brand new game. 50 quid, 60 quid, 70 quid if you pre-purchase it and get the limited edition donkey skin or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. 90 quid, Gary. 90.
Well,
yeah.
Although, Bellum, you noticed that the sweat looked a bit better in 21 over the previous generation. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, sweat physics.
I tell you what.
Sweat physics?
The sweat physics is top-notch,
come on,
I've got to say.
90 quid. Sweat physics.
I'd pay for that. I'd pay for that sweat. And yeah, this is the same. I think this is the same game that is doing is it the Black Mamba edition? That is basically they're just slapping Kobe Bryant on the front of it because he died, so we can make some extra money from his death, which is just really morally spot on from NBA 2K. Bunch of scumbags there.
More Oculus news. There was a Star Wars trailer. Don't know if you guys saw this, for Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge, and I thought it looked ropey at best, if I'm being honest. Oh. Lots of little cameos from like Yoda and the two droids, R2-D2 and 3CPO. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Bellum, as a Star Wars fan? Did that tickle your fancy?
Well, first of all, you just said 3CPO.
Yeah, I realised that as I said it, and I was just like, I'll trigger you. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you achieved it. It's not something I'll be playing as I don't have VR. They're doing a lot of Star Wars based VR stuff because they had that Vader Immortal as well. I don't know if you guys checked that out because I know you are VR players. Did you play Vader Immortal?
No,
I did not. No,
but I've sort
or
of
is that just PSVR?
I think it might be a PSVR thing.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there are certain PlayStation VR games that are only for PlayStation. Like there was that Batman one. I don't know if that was for PC or just for PlayStation.
And I think an Iron Man one as well.
Yeah, the Iron Man one definitely was only for PlayStation.
Yeah.
I remember playing that at EGX.
Oh, great.
Cool.
EGX in London I went to.
It's a very weird title saying Vader Immortal when, spoilers, he dies.
Whoa! You just broke that spoiler embargo after 30 years, or not 40. That is an odd title, isn't it?
Hold on. If anything, the last Star Wars film, anyone could be dead and still come back to life.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Anything's possible at this point.
Yeah.
You're allowed to just change your name to Skywalker for no good reason as well, apparently. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's another episode that we could probably go into. This Tales from Galaxy Edge. It looks like a little story game. It looks like if you have VR and you like Star Wars, you'll probably get. Is it a shooter?
Actually, no,
is that what it is?
You do get lightsabers as well. It looks like Yoda goes, I look bad in these graphics, and then goes, here's a lightsaber, and then you can chuck the lightsaber. So, it's one of those things like.
Oh, that's good.
If you're looking for a cheaper VR setup, you might have fun with it, but it just doesn't look up to the standard of other VR games in Squadrons. Even it doesn't look as good as that. So
we want to quiz you two about VR in a little bit when we get to it, because we neither of us have VR and we want to talk to you about it. As I mentioned earlier, Doom Eternal's DLC, The Ancient Gods, is out now. So if you've completed the campaign or just want more Doom Eternal, check it out. That is out. I think it is about 15 quid, 14 quid, something like that. And I'll go straight on to this next one. A follow-up to the highly acclaimed 2010 horror game Amnesia Dark Descent has been released to decent reviews. Is that your own,
just my own spin on it?
Editorial?
Yeah, it's like 8 out of 10 sort of vibe. It's the classic IGN, this isn't a AAA, give it an 8 sort of thing that they do. Okay,
yeah, they're good at that. Amnesia Rebirth is out now, and I'm looking forward to taking a wee. That's your words as well, Mark. Yeah. And by that you mean pissing yourself. Yeah. I'm guessing.
I loved the Dark Descent. Cool. That was back in 2010. They did another one called Machine for Pigs that didn't quite hit the same spook level, same rhythm.
Sorry, was that Machine for Pigs?
Machine for Pigs, it was called. But it's gone back to frictional games now. So I've got more high hopes for this one being more atmospheric.
Am I right in thinking that Amnesia are the ones that you don't have weapons?
Correct. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to remember. I think you just had like a lantern that you had to keep oiling and stuff like that, and keep the light up, and you lose sanity if you stayed in darkness too long and that sort of thing. And a lot of the enemies, I think, were invisible. There's a moment where you're like, I believe there's a flooded basement or room or something, and that shit me up. Because there's something just invisible chasing you, and it was...
You hear the splashing.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good moment.
Just imagine walking out of a flooded room and just hearing splashing behind you, getting closer and closer and closer.
Fuck that.
Now imagine that in VR.
One soiled pair of underpants. For me.
Yeah, new pants, please, all round. I'll take an order of that. The final piece of news is some former devs from StarCraft 2 created a new studio called Frost Giant, and they did an announcement tweet stating that they're looking forward to making the next great RTS. I was a big fan of the original StarCraft. Looking forward to seeing what comes out of Frost Giant.
Heard about this from another podcast.
Oh, yeah?
And they were always saying how many people have left Blizzard before in the past and have gone, right, we're ex-Blizzard devs, we're gonna make our own games company and actually make some decent games. And you just never hear from them. You never hear from these people.
Yeah. Don't is it Tencent that own Blizzard, or at least have some kind the big Chinese company? Do they own Blizzard? Am I right in thinking that? Because there was a big scandal, wasn't there, with what was he was a Japanese? I think he was a Japanese gamer that got banned because he it wasn't. Was it Hong Kong or China? Anyway, somebody got banned, didn't they? Because they were talking about something political on he won a tournament and then was kind of backing some protests.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was a Blizzard. It was a Blizzard tournament. It was a Blizzard game tournament, and then he got banned because he was basically.
I believe he's from Hong Kong.
Speaking out against the Hong Kong, speaking out against the government.
I'm not sure if they're owned by Tencent, but they obviously have. Blizzard has obviously reach, and in order for their games not to just get blocked outright, Blizzard just went shut him up, and didn't deal with it in a good way.
Yeah.
I think they may also have shareholders in Blizzard.
Yes, most likely.
That's it. Yeah. Fuck the shareholders, though, right?
It's the only way they can feel anymore.
That was a reference to Brendan in your most recent. I should have done the accent, but I was too afraid to do the Northern Irish accent. So that's all of the news. There's nothing. I mean, have you guys got anything big that we might have missed there?
It's been quite a quiet one over the past couple of the past month, really. It's like you said, leading up to the console war or the console announcements, all of the internet's basically like Xbox fanboys or PS5 fanboys they've kind of shut up a little bit so far until one of them gets released, I imagine. Obviously, the whole fuck up with NVIDIA hasn't been ideal. Rob ordered a 3080 on the day, which I believe was the 14th of September. And he's been put in a queue of about 350. And I think they email him every time there's a new shipment that's gone out. And that's like one card per shipment. And he's only received I think he said like 6 emails max. So only 6 graphics cards have gone out in a month.
I wasn't really going to bring it up, but the news I did hear was that they've actually stopped selling them. They've just taken Founders Edition cards of 3000 series just out of stores and shops and online places. They've just gone nope. But I don't know enough about the story to talk about it. But as far as I'm aware, they've just gone cut it, stop. But I don't know to what end. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. Yeah, it's a mess, and nobody can get 3000 series cards right now.
Yeah, it's a shame because they hyped it up so well. All 4 of us were like, holy shit, this is incredible. Like the Ampere or Ampere, however you pronounce it, technology looks really powerful for the cost as well. Yeah. And it's just a shame that no one can get it unless you're an influencer or a press.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
Yeah. Interesting to see what AMD will do with the space that they now have to, I forgot what it is, Navi 2. I think Big Navi.
Big Navi, yeah.
So we don't usually talk about computer stuff on this podcast because Bellum's got an Xbox and a Switch. Nice so this is this is how I chat with my other friends. Yeah, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I know. I'm sorry, Mark. I deprive you of all this chat.
How's your single core Xbox One holding up?
Pearl's moustache. The only other news that I've seen this week was Cyberpunk 2077 had a big trailer for all their new cars and bikes they're added into the into the game. Nightwire. Yeah, and the 1977 Porsche 911, which looks amazing.
I didn't know that was in there.
And also, Keanu Reeves' motorcycle company is existing within the universe of Cyberpunk 2077. So you can get ARC motorcycles, which are just like futuristic versions of his own motorcycles that he designs.
I saw that like his character had a motorcycle. I didn't realise that it was his company and that's existing in that world.
It's his motorcycle company that's existing in real life. But they've basically taken his bikes that he's got at the moment and made them look all futuristic and 2077.
Do you reckon
it's great? I wonder if it was part of his deal. He was like, I'll be in the game, but I've got to get these bikes in.
Well, to be honest, he probably just went, I really want to be in the game. Can I put my company in there? You can use my likeness of the things. I'm sure they would have been like, yeah. We're not going to say no to the brand in our.
We don't have to design the bikes and put in that extra work. Yeah, give us some schematics. Let's do it. Easy.
Free hype. Hell yeah.
100%. One of the like. When the games are released, the press event for that will have one of his bikes that looks exactly like one of the ones that are in the game.
He's going to ride in on one.
It'll be RGB to fuck.
Yeah.
What's your hype levels right now for Cyberpunk? Where are you guys at with it?
I'm pretty hype. I've sold my knife on CS:GO to give myself some funds to pay for it. So. That should be coming in. Actually, that should be coming in today.
Oh,
it was recommended that it would be put on sale today. So check my Steam account later, see if I've got some money.
Can you explain? Can you just explain to me what you just said? So wait, did you say you sold your knife in CS:GO?
Yeah. So digital skins in CS:GO are worth actual money,
right?
And if you so even if you get like say, if you open up a box on like a loot box. These are all the things that are now like highly illegal in some countries. But you pay money, you open up a box, and if you get a knife from it, then wow, it's amazing. It's the best thing you could ever do in your life because that knife will now be worth 600 times what you paid for the box to open it up.
Wow.
So it cost you like £1, or it used to cost you like £1.59. Now it's like £2 or £3 to open a box. You can still sell those things on the Steam marketplace for Steam voucher money, basically.
Yeah.
So someone will pay. Well, my knife when I unlocked it was probably worth £20. Where no one can get those knives anymore, the money of it has gone up now and it's worth about £60.
Wow.
Wow.
So I mean, And are they purely cosmetic?
Purely cosmetic, yeah.
Just for context, Joe, there are Dota 2 items that go up to like £500 and stuff
there's
like
one,
that.
There's one gun called the Dragon Law.
Ridiculous.
Which is for the AWP sniper. Yeah. Which goes for about $2,000.
Oh my
Jesus
God!
I mean, I wouldn't.
And it's the most expensive in-game item that there
I would just sell that. Like, what's the point of keeping it? Do you know what I mean? Unless it's gonna get more.
Well, you keep it because the longer you keep it, the more rare it will become. Well, yeah. It's like eventually there'll be none of them. Yeah. All the accounts that have them will disappear or get lost.
Yeah. Who? Like, why are the people buying them? As in, why?
Because they're so rare to unlock.
Yeah, it's just opened my eyes. So I thought we'd sort of round things out by just chatting about VR because it's something that neither me or Mark have a lot of. Well, me personally, I don't have any experience with it.
Well, actually, my only experience of VR, which my mate told me is not a VR experience, was Darren Brown's Ghost Train in Thorpe Park, which, if you haven't been on that, is like it's more of experience than a ride. It's a bit of a walk-through atmosphere with like storyline, followed by like a thing where you sit in a fake tube, like underground tube train, put on a VR headset, and then you have like actors running around like touching your knees and stuff like that. But like that's the closest thing I have to a VR experience. So I've never played a game on one.
Are you telling me that when you're playing on the Oculus, people aren't running around touching your knees? That doesn't happen?
Well, presumably if you're living with a housemate or wife or whatever, you could ask them to do that at the appropriate point.
Create that that'll really 4D experience.
That has actually happened for me.
Really?
Yeah, I live with my my partner, and she, while I was playing Phasmophobia for the first time, she touched the back of my neck, and I went,
oh my God.
Which was not ideal.
Yeah.
That's a note from me.
Yeah. I'm jumping straight out that window. So yeah, I thought we'd just basically talk about your experiences with it, like how heavily you'd recommend it as sort of a purchase. Like, so listening to your most recent podcast episode, and from people I've heard, everyone has been talking about how Star Wars Squadrons is like the way to play it is in VR as opposed to flat, as you guys said, and how it is just a totally different experience. And what would you? Yeah, how would you sell VR? And also, what are some of your favorite experiences there? I know you've also talked about Half-Life Alyx, which is something that I massively would like kill to be able to play. I would love to play that game, having been such a huge fan of all of the Half-Life games.
So, which setups do you have? Is it the Valve Index thing, or have you gone with Oculus?
So I've got the Valve Index, and Jordy, you have the Oculus Rift S.
Oculus, yeah, and then Brendan has the same one as me. Rob has the same one as Gary.
Yeah.
So we've got two of the sides. None of us have got a Vive, or what's the other one?
Quest.
I'm missing.
Quest is the
Quest.
cheaper.
So the Quest is the meant to be computer free one, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah.
So
I guess
you can only play to what you can store on the actual headset.
Yeah.
So you can store a 64 gig hard drive within the headset, which has a game on it, or 128 gig or whatever it is. So there will be certain games you can't play, but there'll be certain ones like you can play Beat Saber and stuff like that. I'd absolutely love to be able to play all the games on my PC in VR cordless. That would be something that would be that's basically that would be the next gen of VR, where you don't need wires.
Yeah.
It will literally just project the game from your computer into the headset wirelessly somehow. We don't know how that's going to happen at the moment, but that will be the next gen of VR. And probably when I decide to upgrade my VR headset to whatever that will be.
I would say that's probably the same for me as well. Like, I don't have any intention of upgrading that in the short term at all, because for me it is the best on the market so far. But there will be improvements, but I reckon the next 2 to 3 years we'll see improvements, and there'll probably be much better versions. Maybe there's less like screen door effect, which for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it is because you're looking through a lens looking at a screen, you get kind of a white glare on the lens, because obviously it's a convex convex lens, so it kind of refracts the light on the inside of your headset. So sometimes you get little white patches, like kind of translucent. It's just like looking through a reflection, really. But it's not. Yeah. It's not awful, right. But that stuff like that.
Not doing this and just living your life like this.
Yeah.
Just covering your eyes. Yeah.
That's the closest I'm going to get to VR anytime soon.
Yeah. You lose that a little bit in certain corners of your eyes.
So I think like
that peripheral vision you don't get.
So on the Index, you have a better peripheral vision because you're paying more money for it. So for anyone who doesn't know the cost prices between Jordy's headset, which is the Oculus Rift S, and mine, which is the Index, the Index is
price is double.
Yeah. The Index is about £1,000 once you've
400.
Once you've got everything, and yours is 400. So just over double. But
so you bought the full Valve kit. Then?
Yeah. So
for $999.
Yeah. So if you're getting into VR for the first time, you need the whole kit. If you had a Vive with the base stations, then you could have just bought the headset. Or you could, if you have the Vive, you can just buy the controllers, because the controllers are like the really, really fun part of the Index. I mean, we could go into details on like technical specifications, but that would take like a whole episode. But but basically, like the Index, the one thing that the Index has in terms of tech that, basic tech that the Oculus doesn't have, which I would say is maybe a hindrance, is that we have base stations, which are two infrared sensors which recognize where you are. So you set them up at parallel to each other at a diagonal so that it can measure your entire head tracking and your arm tracking. Whereas the Oculus, as far as I'm aware, has that built into the headset itself.
Yeah. So I see you say that's a hindrance. I say that it's more of it's a pro basically rather than a con, because I wouldn't want to have sensors put into a room, just see where I am all the time. I'd rather it all be built into the headset and then me not having
That's what I mean. Like as a hindrance on the Index is that it isn't built into the headset, and you have to have these two base stations. That's the only.
Yeah.
Do you have any like proof that one is more accurate or less accurate than the other, or are they comparable in that sense?
I would probably say that the Index is probably more accurate, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. Like the games that we play aren't like precision. Like you just like sort of clip it in, and if it's a mag in a gun, you sort of just clip it in the nearest location, pull it back, and it's fine. There's no issues on the Rift S. Like I've played on the original Rift, which actually did have them.
The only issue I've come across when playing VR is that, as you can see in my room at the moment, it's quite dark. I've only got my LED lights on just for mood lighting. I've not really got much space in terms of movement because of a fucking massive double bed behind me as well. So I've got about 1 meter by 1 meter square probably of playable standing area in front of my computer. So I tend to face towards my bed with my back facing my computer when I'm playing, just so that I'm not punching my monitor. When in VR,
not ideal.
That is something I've done a lot.
but the cameras are inbuilt onto the headset to find out where you are and like where walls are and where the floor is at night time. So are we playing a game? This was when we were playing Pavlov TTT. I'd have my headset on and I'll be playing it during the day. The window will be open and there'll be sunlight in the room. And I'll be walking around fine. I'll be the height that I am in real life in the game, and then some point during the night, it will just stop, and I'll become like 2 foot, like as if I'm like walking on the floor, and I'll go, "Whoa, what happened?" I was like, "The sensors have broken. What's going on?"
To be fair, that happens in squadrons anyway.
You have to recalibrate it, don't you?
Yeah. But that's me playing on it flat. Like you'll suddenly, sorry, I'm interrupting your spiel, but like the thing where you're just in like the hangars, like chatting to the story people, whatever. Suddenly you'll be looking at a character like this, and I'm just like, why am I looking up at this person? What has happened? Like totally bizarre. Sorry, that's hilarious. Anyway,
that's
it's basically where I was playing VR and it was daytime. the cameras could see everything, but obviously when it gets dark, if I've not got any lights on, then the cameras can't see where the floor is to recognise how tall I am or where the nearest thing is. So you'll lose all your height, and it will just revert you back to like, it doesn't know where the floor is, so it can't see. So you have to then recalibrate how far away the floor is, then make sure you got a bit more natural light in the room so people can so you can see where the floor is, where your bed is, where stuff is that you can potentially hit. And that's the only thing that is a bad thing, is you just need to make sure that the room you're in is always well lit when you're playing on these headsets, just because the cameras need to pick up everything.
Do you guys see it as sort of in an ideal world, would you play most games in VR? Or I guess my only concern with it is that it's a bit of a fad, like almost like a toy peripheral kind of thing, in that I would spend, whether it's up to 909 quid on it, and I'm like obsessed with it for 6 months, and then I'm like, actually, I'm just going to put it on my shelf and it's going to gather dust? Or is it the kind of thing where every time the new big title comes out, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be able to pick up my VR headset again?
I think it really depends on the games that you're expecting, to be honest. Because there's, I think Jordy would agree with me in saying that I still have a place for flat gaming. Like I really enjoy just sitting at a desk and playing a game with a mouse and keyboard. But then I also really, really enjoy playing VR. Like to me, they're totally different experiences. I think the only downside so far, overall, because I would say we're not early investors of VR, but we're certainly before the mainstream, and that's all thanks to games like Alex, really. If Alex hadn't have come out, I was considering getting a VR headset anyway, but if Alex hadn't have come out, I don't think all 4 of us would have got it. I don't think I would have got it as soon as I did.
I think when Alex came out, it was the last stone that fell, which made the avalanche.
Yeah.
Basically, because from what VR was before Alex, it was basically, I used to think that VR games were just basically glorified tech demos.
Yeah, which they were.
Which were mainly what they were for. And every game that I've played in VR previously to owning a VR headset, which is at like where I've queued up for hours to go and play a little bit of VR at a convention or something, it's all just been like tutorial or just walking simulators where you're walking to one place,
more of like an experience,
and talking to someone. Like an experience or like a simulation rather than an actual game. Whereas Alex has just literally it's set a level for VR games now where I feel like if another game like Alex doesn't come out soon for VR, I'll be disappointed that I've not used it as much. But obviously, Squadrons has come out. Squadrons is good for VR, like really, really good, really immersive. I haven't played the single player yet, but that's something I want to play through fully in VR rather than playing it flat. I can play the multiplayer flat when I'm just dossing around or want to jump into a quick game because it's just a multiplayer. But story modes and actual stuff like that, like there's still Walking Dead Saints and Sinners that I want to try as well, which apparently is quite a good one.
The other one, not so much.
The new one that's come out apparently is garbage and shouldn't be touched.
Right.
But yeah.
You'll have Medal of Honor as well.
Oh, yeah, Medal of Honor.
Yes. Medal of Honor is coming out. That looks fantastic.
I thought that looked good, actually.
We are all sort of into our sort of World War II shooters as well.
And is it Respawn that are making that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully it will handle like butter.
If Respawn are also doing Medal of Honor in VR, it'd be nice if they made a Titanfall game in VR. That'd be insane.
Hell yeah.
Because
that'd be so good.
Just imagine being in VR, sliding underneath a mech and then getting grabbed by a mech and put into it, and then you just then become the mech and just like, yeah, let's go.
I don't know how you'd be able to, like, sliding might be difficult, might make you feel a bit nauseous. So I don't know. It'd be nice if they could find a way to do that. It really would.
Well, does barrel rolling in Squadrons make you nauseous? Because that's even when I'm looking at flat, occasionally I'm like, oh, my brain, like if I'm just going. Woo!
So the main thing,
because you focus on the panels and stuff around you, and you're actually when you look, you're in a cockpit. Like you can see behind you, you can see in your X-wing, you can look behind you, you can see your R2 unit sitting there, smiling at you, and it's just you feel like you're in a ship.
Yeah.
So that when you do spin, gravity of real world gravity, as you sitting in your chair, doesn't change your sort of aspect of being spinning around and round and round sort of thing.
The first couple of rolls, you're like, that's weird. I'm not rolling in real life, but then your brain quickly adjusts to it. It's the games where you're using locomotion, so like you're pushing the joysticks forward and you're staying stationary in real life. And if you're turning left or right with the joystick and not looking left and right, they're the things that really throw you off in the beginning. And if anyone who is listening, or if both of you who are maybe thinking of getting a VR headset, like it will take you some time potentially. Some people it's completely fine. You just jump straight in, you're smashing zombies' heads in, no problem. But I got my headset at the peak of the first lockdown in the UK, and I got a little bit motion sick from playing Alex because I was was it? No, it was Pavlov I was playing, I think.
Pavlov,
it was Pavlov, and I started feeling really flush. I was really sweaty. I felt faint, and I was like, "Fuck! I hope I haven't got that. I hope I haven't got the Rona." Turns out I didn't. It was just motion sickness, and it just dissipated within 2 days. So I was like, "Oh, fine."
I also have a bit of motion sickness when playing certain games as well, and it is just down to the way you stand in games. So you'll be standing up. The way I play is where I've got my bed behind me here. I put the back of my legs up against the bed. And if I feel myself moving away from it, leaning forward when walking forward, I know myself to in real life to stop leaning forward.
Yeah.
Because when you're walking forward in a game, your body wants to automatically just go, right, we're moving forward now. Let's lean forward, and you got to try and teach your body to not do that.
Yeah,
Brendan did a quite good thing where he would play VR standing to the side 90 degrees and looking this way as if you were like say on a skateboard.
Okay.
So he put his feet in sort of skateboard stance so that when he does start moving forward, if he's leaning into one of his legs.
Yeah.
So he knows he's not gonna. Basically, you've seen all the memes.
Oh, I see.
That makes sense.
Have you seen the meme of Ronnie O'Sullivan playing snooker in VR?
No.
Oh yeah.
So he goes to lead on a table that isn't there.
I'll have to track that down. That's great.
That's great. That's really
and it's literally your body. Your mind will trick your body to thinking that you're in certain situations where there isn't something there.
It's like that old trick where they'd put a fake hand next to your hand and with a board partition and tell you to look at the fake hand and like stroke it with a feather while stroking your other hand, and then suddenly grab a hammer and smack the fake hand and be like, it must be like the same, like mentally the same sort of thing that's going on, I guess.
Yeah, it's I do that as well, Jordy. I have particularly in Phasmophobia because I don't want to shit myself and fall back into my glass and metal cabinet behind me, or into my really expensive computer setup. I don't really want to be damaging that either. So I do the kind of skateboard stance, or sort of like if you're like preparing yourself to, I don't know, take a hit.
Your desk has had a few beatings though, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. So at the start, I would say for anyone considering VR, space is very important. You've got to have at least, in an ideal world, it would be a 2 meter by 2 meter area. But the minimum that
this is also based on your height and your wingspan as well.
True.
So that 2 by 2 meter area is fine for Gary, but a 2 by 2 meter area for me probably not as big. I probably need a 3 by 3 because if you're 6'3" or 6'4", and I can touch my wall, which is just right here.
Fair enough.
And then I'm currently my computer is here inside like a cupboard basically. So next to me I've got a wardrobe right here. So every so often when I'm playing in VR, if I've turned around or if I'm facing this way and I swing back, I'll hit a solid cupboard with my controller and or fist.
Are there any games that you literally can't play? Are there any games that, like, just because of your space requirements, you just can't play them?
I think there's some games where you have to walk around, but I think they always give you the option to teleport or to move in game. So I don't think, I think that if you've got a small living space or a small area that you have for your headset, I would say at the very minimum, if you're like, I'm like quite slender, I'm about 5'8", and I need about 2 meters by 2 meters. But unfortunately, I have unlimited like access either side of me, but in front and back of me, I only have 1.5 meters. So I constantly crack my knuckle controllers on my desk in front of me and on the metal pillars behind me as well, which is very painful. Very, very painful.
Yeah, can imagine.
I did realize that at the very beginning of going into VR, they have like a grid that you can set up to say when you're getting too close, but the grid was set up to be pale blue, and it wasn't very well. It wasn't very obvious because they're just like, okay, you can set it up how you want. So I just went, okay, yeah, I'm just going to put lines on it so that if I go too far, then, you know, it won't be too bad and I won't break my immersion. Whereas now I'm like, I don't give a fuck about my immersion. I give a fuck about my body and everything else. So I've got these like red squares that cover my entire screen if I'm getting too close, and it's much better. I haven't damaged anything since then. But the first few months, I was fucking smacking everything. I thought I broke my controller at one point. 200 quid controllers, not good.
I think you've touched on two things that are like the big reasons why I've not dived into VR myself. Is price, because obviously, even with the Oculus being £400, you can buy. You could build a PC for that, just about. You could buy a PS5 or Xbox or whatever. So it is an investment. But the other thing is what we touched on earlier. Is I've always felt that the games to back up the technology have never really been there. And Half-Life Alyx, definitely like the first one that felt like, oh, okay, this is a real experience. This is a real game that you'd actually want to play. I play Elite Dangerous, but I've always thought, oh, VR, yeah, that'd be cool. But actually, for me, I kind of feel like the ideal would be that classic 3-screen, 27-inch screens together with a joystick and a few panels of buttons so you can physically see what you're pressing. Obviously, like a simulator is a bit different. There's a lot of like button combinations and stuff. Whereas I suppose with Squadrons, it being a bit more arcadey, there's fewer things that you have to like push and reach for, because it's not like landing gear this and all that kind of thing going on. But what are your thoughts on how it stands now and sort of the value for money for your investment? And, you're saying you're not looking to upgrade, but like, do you feel like you've got enough to look forward to as well as what you've got now?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Alyx is the game that has sort of kicked off a AAA title of VR. You've also got stuff like Boneworks as well, which is quite a cool game. I wouldn't say it's AAA because it's a indie dev team, but it's a good enough story and really, really good fluid gunplay and melee weapons.
Yeah, the melee weapons are good because you don't get melee weapons. Spoiler in Alyx.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot more to come with VR in terms of VR games. Like, the only reason really why I went so hard into going into VR was because these three bastards basically all got VR headsets, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be the only one that's not got a VR headset. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll put it on my birthday list. £400 headset, just whack it on there, see what happens. And,
so did you choose Oculus for the price over?
Yeah, I chose it for the price. Yeah. I would never ever spend £1,000 on £1,000 would buy me a new. I could upgrade my PC tenfold to what it is at the moment, and I'd be extremely happy with that purchase, and probably not give a toss about VR. But where we're all quite invested in the Half-Life story, and the game had been out for quite a while, and the boys had all played it, I was like, yeah, I do need to get it. I'm going to invest now while that game is out and is sort of pioneering the way.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that obviously Medal of Honor is coming out, and that's going to hopefully again push VR titles being made again. There's obviously other companies who have expressed VR interest, and obviously loads more companies who are bringing VR thinking of VR supported titles. Obviously, like Squadrons has come out VR supported. Elite Dangerous is now is VR supported as well.
Phasmophobia.
And you've got Skyrim and things like that as well, don't you? Oh, Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia, Skyrim, loads of mods and stuff. Alien Isolation has been
amazing.
I bet that's great.
VR supported for quite a while.
Yeah.
But then there's also a few other games. I'm just looking at my Steam library at the VR games that we've got.
I know they're doing
The Forest in VR.
They're doing the new Hitman games for PlayStation VR, but I don't know. Are they doing that for PC as well? The Hitman games?
That would be nice. I'd enjoy a Hitman VR.
I would very much enjoy it.
I know they're doing it for PlayStation VR, but I'm not sure. They might be.
I fucking hope they do, because just garrotting someone in VR would be psychopathic, to say the least.
Yeah, massively.
That'll sort your day's frustrations out.
Middle management.
It looks like PlayStation from what I can see, sadly.
Shame.
They have said some of the PlayStation titles will come to PC eventually.
Okay.
But it's a case of they're going to be PlayStation exclusive for however long.
VR.
Yeah. But even VR for sort of some things that you don't even think about being in VR, which were great in VR. Like the early days of, it wasn't early days of lockdown, it was probably about 2 or 3 months into lockdown, we picked up a free game on the Steam store called Rec Room, which is you play like a what's the people like they're like you play this like robot-y sort of character, like a wee me character, but you've got no legs and you're like this little VR guy walking around. You're just like a Rayman with a pair of hands and like a floaty head on a floaty body. So you've got no legs, but you walk around and you can see your arms running like this, and it's basically like a online chat room, a bit like VR chat sort of thing, but there are loads of different scenarios and stuff where you can put yourself in. So you can go to a bowling alley, and there's essentially like Wii Bowl in there, and you can literally play bowling with your mates in there. So it was great that we had me, you, Rob, Brendan all playing.
I don't think Rob played
bowling.
I think it was just you, me, and Brendan. No, I think Rob saw it and just went, not really feeling it, lads.
Oh yeah,
as he is want to do.
But it was probably good because you go there and there's like a reception area. It's a place where you go and buy pizza and drinks and stuff. There's like a little pool table in the back as well. So if like you're in this room, there's people bowling, you can go and play around the pool while you're waiting for someone to take their turn and stuff like that. And it's all like proper motion and everything, as if you're properly playing pool or bowling. And that's just free.
I mean, and during lockdown as well, that kind of stuff is pretty valuable, to be honest.
Yeah,
because you're online, you're chatting to people, and you're sort of in a physical space with someone that Gary's character looked exactly like him. Like it was the beard, the hair, just perfect, exactly the same. Couldn't tell the difference.
You've not got a fursona then and gone into VR chat.
Oh no, that's what VR chat's for.
See, I've not yet. VR chat is installed, but I have not yet gone into it.
Oh, it's chaos.
Yeah, I've watched YouTube videos and it's just people screaming or running around.
I didn't realise it was still a thing. I didn't realise it was still, because I remember it was big, and I remember like PewDiePie was on it for ages doing videos, and it was kind of became quite like big. But I didn't realise people were still knocking about on it.
During lockdown, one of my friends, John, he basically locked down with his family because they were all like high risk people. So he didn't go out of his house for like 2 or 3 weeks. So he thought, but I'm going to get some social interaction going. So he went onto VR chat into a nightclub room on his own and sort of met a few people randomly at this like nightclub online, and just like had like an avatar, and they randomly started dancing to some music that a random DJ was playing, and it was like.
That's what you spend $1,000 for, let's be honest. Yeah. That is why you put your £1,000 on the table.
So I could be a fursona.
Give me the VR chat, give me the dancing game.
He was like, it was great. Like, it was quite a laugh. Like, you're just there basically playing about, being stupid. But he said it was a right laugh to just talk to people and meet random. It's like basically going into like fucking like on MSN when you were a kid and
I was just about to say, it's sort of the logical. It's the logical conclusion of MSN, isn't it?
Yeah. But instead, you're all walking around as anime girls rather than
Oh god!
Can I get an ooh?
Oh god.
I would say.
Oh man.
I would say. I really want more people to get VR so that the industry is aware that VR is valuable and it's a really good experience, and there's so much that you can get from it that you can't get from like the standard flat gaming. And I would love to see more experimentation with it as well, because like Phasmophobia, for example, it's not a shooting game, whereas a lot of VR games are shooting games, and I want to see more non-shooting games in VR just to see what can be done. You know, that it's such a. Alex was a great example of things that can be done, but they still had the shooting as well. So as much as
I want Portal VR, I want Tekken VR. I don't know how that would work, but hey, do you know what I mean? That's what's in my head is like these other experiences that, like you said, I mean, it is shooting, but it's not. It's puzzling, but you know what I mean. Other things going on, puzzling of some sort. Fall Guys,
Portal VR.
Fall Guys VR.
Fall Guys VR would be vomit-inducing. I think. Tumbling around, you're like
6'2".
Yeah, I was going to say the same for Portal. To be honest,
maybe Portal.
Well, potentially. Yeah.
I think you could.
Well, if you do the thing where you just drop between the two portals and accelerate,
the endless fall would be horrible.
Yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
Roller Coaster Tycoon VR.
Yeah, that would be quite fun. No, like a park builder would be interesting, because you could manually place everything around. Like imagine like Planet Zoo in VR. That would be really cool. The graphics probably could handle it. To be honest,
to do terrain building instead of like just clicking and like dragging to lift and raise dirt, you actually just dig a hole and it makes a hole there for you.
Well, you could just like sculpt with it.
Do a God game like black and white. Black and white is it? Black or white? Who made that?
Yeah, black or white.
One thing that's underrated VR games that have been games previously to like when I've used VR is stuff like Tabletop Simulator and Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. So I think Tabletop Simulator would be a great thing for us four to do as the VGC boys, and just playing a fucking board game. Like when now in lockdown is sort of a thing where you're only allowed to have one household's worth of people in your house. When can you get a chance to sit at a table virtually and play cards or Monopoly or any sort of other tabletop game? Yeah, exactly. And I've seen people do full D&D playthroughs using Tabletop Simulator, and it's not just VR. You can play that non-VR as well. So you'll be able to see people in VR in it when you're playing on flat as well. And it's just one of those things that I think like this is something that you can use to your advantage in this sort of time where you can't be with people.
The possibilities are limitless.
Well, listen, I reckon I'm sold. It's just that I right now can't really find a grand is where I'm at. But Squadrons has been and especially listening to your episode of VGC on it, it was the kind of thing where I went, oh yeah, VR's a thing. Oh damn, I'd love to give that a go, but I don't really have the money right now.
Yeah, same.
That's where
I would say you don't need to buy the Index at all. Like it's incredible. Don't get me wrong. If you
but my e-peen tells me I do.
There's little things about the Index that I personally prefer over the others. But is it worth 500 quid? Yeah, in my eyes it is. But to a lot of people, probably not. Like if you're,
I would never have spent the £1,000.
No,
never.
You don't need to. Like honestly,
I would have always stuck to the bare basic.
The Rift S is incredible. It's a really, really good piece of kit, and like for half the price, you can't really go wrong with it. I would say the Index is for people who really need to be able to use their fingers, which you don't in most games really need to use the fingers. The quality of the lenses are a little bit better, and there's a few more kind of quality of life adjustments that they have with it. Like without going into too much details, like the cord, you can disconnect the cord not halfway through, but like a third of the way in, so that you can wrap it up and store your headset elsewhere without having to go to the back of your computer and unplug it, for example. And like manual adjustment of moving the lenses forward, and also the manual adjustment of moving the lens inward. So if you have shallow eyes or like really, really far apart eyes, then it's easier to set with a manual thing. Again, it's all quality of life stuff that it depends if you value that. And I would also say,
I need to go ahead and build a PC first. That's my first stumbling block.
I'll sort you out. Let's go. Time for another PC.
Oh, yeah. Be part of the PC Master Race.
For that.
I would say that
Do it. Unlimited power.
If you are hesitating, getting a VR headset because you're not 100% sold on it, maybe hold off a little bit just to see what other games come out. Because as you said, I think some AAA publishers and developers are seeing it as a fad, whereas I think there's a handful who are like, no, this is really, really incredible. So with the likes of Medal of Honor and Respawn back in that, I can only hope that in my ideal world, I would love Half-Life 3 in VR. I want that. And if that comes out, everyone, and if it's VR only, everyone will back VR. Like they just need to just keep pushing out VR, really high quality VR games.
You're right. You are right.
Which, at the moment, there's really good ones, but it's depends if you're happy to invest, really.
Yeah. FIFA 22 only in VR. That'll do it.
That actually, to be fair, that probably would do it.
Yeah, probably would.
It's just not what anyone wants.
Would.
But the only problem with that is you'd have the microtransaction of buying the right eye instead of just using the left eye.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're gonna have to start wrapping it up. I'm afraid, boys. We've this has been our longest ever record because we've got so much.
Apologies for that.
To talk about. We could. There was more. No, it's fine. There's generally more that we wanted to talk about, but we'll have to save it for another time. Thank you so much, Gary and Jordy, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely loved it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It's a huge pleasure. It's definitely been the most PC stuff we've ever talked about as well. So Mark's going to be really happy about that.
Very quickly. Sorry, before we go on to that, in a word, PS5 or Xbox Series X, both of you.
Oh,
PS5,
Jordy.
Oh, see, you're talking about me personally.
Yeah. In a word.
Yeah.
Xbox, because my brother will get a PS5.
Fair play. Yeah, cool.
To be honest, I would be PS5 all the way just because of Sony being bastards and having the rights to Spider-Man. I'm a massive superhero nerd and love all the superhero games. But if only they didn't have the rights to Spider-Man and you could get Spider-Man on Xbox, I would just be Xbox all the way. Because I love Halo.
Yeah.
Love all the Xbox titles.
Yeah, same.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't, especially with Game Pass, I don't know why anyone would not want to pick an Xbox.
True.
Nowadays. And I just think all the other exclusives for the PlayStation, I'm not that interested in. The only one that I am interested in is Spider-Man. So, yeah. But I know my little brother's PlayStation has been PlayStation for a while. He'll be the one that gets the PlayStation, so I'll get an Xbox.
I will be eating my words when Bethesda say the Elder Scrolls is only going to be released on Xbox. Yeah. Although I have a PC, so I shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Yeah, it will be fine. PC land is a happy place.
You won't need to worry. Well, I guess that was the only other tiny little piece of news is that Phil Spencer said in an interview that he feels no obligation to release anything on the PlayStation.
True.
It looks like it could happen, but that's for another discussion, I guess. But that will be insanely interesting if that does happen. But yeah, please do go and subscribe and download Video Game Chat. Go give them a follow on all their social media. Twitter, correct me if I get this wrong, but Twitter, you're at VGC Podcast, and the same on Instagram, VGC Podcast.
Sorry,
yes, underscores for both. Yes, VGC _ podcast on both.
Normally me that gets that wrong.
I've even got it written in front of me. I just skimmed right
Jordy
over
always
it.
makes that mistake, and he set them up.
Yep.
Our Instagram and Twitter handles aren't the same, which is just stupid and confusing.
No.
Yeah, well, it's because there's basically another Pushing Buttons podcast, but they've been inactive for for ages and ages and ages.
Can you request to get their handle?
I think if it gets to over 5 years old,
I could. Yeah, I suppose we could. Oh, great. Well, that's good to know. We'll just I guess we could just also send them a message and be like, if you guys are
alive,
no longer active. Anyway, that's a
tangent.
We could definitely do that. So thank you so much, guys. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to kind of get in touch with anything on those topics, you can email in on pushingbuttonspod@gmail.com with any feedback, suggestions, or anything like that. Please do give us a follow on social media as well. We are at PB Podcast UK on Twitter. On Instagram, we are at PushingButtonsPod. You can download us in loads of places, can't you, Mark? We're all over the shop.
We're all over the shop.
We're whores of the podcast world.
Spotify, Apple Pod, Apple Music or whatever it's called. Amazon Music, YouTube, Deezer, Stitcher. I believe that's it. But yeah, what about you? Anything you want to plug for your podcast? What are you talking about next week? Where can you find them? Where can you download all that good stuff?
So our episode will be coming out on the 27th. We're having our spooky Halloween episode with Grief Burrito, where we talk about all the horror games and stuff like that. And yeah, go check that out. That might be a 2-parter, so we might be releasing that over two days. But yeah,
we also ran over a little bit on that one.
yeah, we also ran over quite a bit on that one. But yeah, hopefully
there's a lot of spooky games out there.
Hopefully we get you guys to come jump on our podcast as well one week. So
I would love it. That'd be great.
That would be an absolute pleasure, lads.
And you get to see the. Oh God, we haven't done. Oh no, we have done a podcast with 6 people, haven't we? It is. It's chaos.
6 people podcast is it's chaos.
We'll just sit quietly and less spoken to. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Well, we will.
No, it's all great. It's all great just to shout out what you feel and see how it comes out. Great.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for coming. Big love to both of you. Stay well in lockdown, and thanks to everyone listening. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks, Mark. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.